Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: will Philippine peace talks end rebel conflict for good or aid the enemy? Michigan shuts out Iowa to earn its spot in an uncertain playoff field. Montana rolls over Delaware 49-19, will face Furman in FCS quarterfinal. 3 killed in bomb attack on Catholic Mass in Philippines. Explosion at a Catholic Mass in the Philippines kills at least 4 and injures dozens. Will Philippine peace talks end rebel conflict for good or aid the enemy? South China Morning Post. Surprise peace talks between the Philippine government and communist rebels have drawn mixed reactions. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s move to hold peace talks has been welcomed by some members of the armed forces and police, who see the negotiations as a chance to end decades of conflict. However, supporters of Marcos's predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte, who angrily withdrew from the last formal peace talks in 2017, see the move as an arrogant mistake. The peace talks were seen by Duterte as an opportunity for the rebels to accelerate their attacks on soldiers and police. While some see the talks as a chance for the military to better respond to foreign threats once domestic peace is achieved, others see it as giving the rebels time to regroup. The joint statement announcing the peace talks recognized the need to urgently address socioeconomic and environmental issues, as well as foreign security threats. Michigan shuts out Iowa to earn its spot in an uncertain playoff field. Washington Post. Michigan beat Iowa 26-0 to win the Big Ten championship in a match that saw more struggle than skill. Both teams were strong on defense, with the Wolverines ranked 4th in yards per play, while Iowa's was ranked 2nd. The Hawkeyes' only venture against a currently ranked team saw them lose 31-0 to Penn State. Michigan's win means they will be the second team to enter the college football playoff after Washington. Montana rolls over Delaware 49-19, will face Furman in FCS quarterfinal. Associated Press. Montana defeated Delaware 49-19 in a snowy second-round matchup of the FCS championship on Saturday night. Quarterback Clifton McDowell threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for a score in the victory. Montana has now won 8 in a row and will host Furman in the quarterfinals. The game is a rematch of the 2001 title game, which Montana won 13-6. 3 killed in bomb attack on Catholic Mass in Philippines. ABC. An explosion during a Catholic Mass at Mindanao State University in the southern Philippines has killed 3 people and injured 9. Authorities are investigating the cause of the explosion and are looking into whether it was an act of revenge by pro-Islamic State militants. The incident occurred in Marawi, a city currently under siege by militants. The university has suspended classes until further notice and has condemned the attack. Explosion at a Catholic Mass in the Philippines kills at least 4 and injures dozens. New York Times. 4 people have been killed and 50 others injured after an explosion at a Roman Catholic Mass in Marawi, the southern Philippines. A grenade or homemade bomb is believed to have caused the blast. Authorities suspect the involvement of the Islamic State affiliate in the Philippines. The incident took place at Mindanao State University, which is still affected by the fighting that took place during 2017. Kissinger's unwavering support for brutal regimes still haunts Latin America. Associated Press. Henry Kissinger, who died last week at the age of 100, was a towering figure in U.S. foreign policy during the Cold War, serving as Secretary of State to Presidents Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. He was a key figure in U.S. support for anti-communist regimes in South America, notably in Chile and Argentina. The latter's foreign minister in 1976, Admiral Cesar Augusto Gazzetti, said Kissinger gave the military junta the signal to engage in human rights abuses, adding that Gazzetti felt that the U.S. had given no objection to wholesale slaughter. Kissinger was later awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for negotiating a ceasefire during the Vietnam War. He has faced numerous calls to be tried for war crimes. In 2001, his book Does America Need a Foreign Policy? Was published. Number 2 Michigan beats number 18 Iowa 26-0 for Big Ten title, likely to claim top playoff seed. Associated Press. Number 2 Michigan dominated number 18 Iowa 26-0 on Saturday night in the Big Ten championship game, likely securing the top seed in the college football playoff. The Wolverines won their 3rd consecutive outright conference title for the first time in school history. Coach Jim Harbaugh, who returned from a 3-game suspension, became the first coach in conference history to win 3 straight outright titles. Blake Corum scored twice, tying the school record for touchdown runs, and finished with 16 carries for 52 yards. Michigan extended its school record of consecutive wins over Big Ten foes to 25. Philippines, blast at Catholic Mass kills several. Deutsche Welle. An explosion at a Catholic mass in a university gymnasium in Marawi City in the Philippines killed 3 and injured 9 people on Sunday. The explosion occurred at Mindanao State University in the Lanao del Sur province, and investigations are still underway. It is possible that the attack was planned by pro-Islamic State militants. Marawi is the country's largest Muslim city and was besieged by Islamist militants for 5 months in 2017. Henri Lopez, writer who mocked African autocrats and served one, dies at 86. Washington Post. Henri Lopez, a Congolese writer who used fictional dictators to highlight political corruption and brutality in Africa, has died at the age of 86. Lopez novels included 1982's The Laughing Cry and 2015's Meridional, both of which had strongman characters at their center. Lopez served as Congolese ambassador to France from 1998 to 2015, during the presidency of Denis Sassou Nguesso. While his novels contained unsparing critiques of post-colonial Africa, Lopez refrained from criticizing the Congolese president. Critics accused Lopez of giving legitimacy to Sassou Nguesso's regime, which has been linked to human rights abuses. Lopez said he had taken the risk of saying nothing. Born in the Belgian Congo, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, in 1937, Lopez moved to Paris as a 12-year-old. He wrote the lyrics of the Congolese national anthem, Les Trois Glorieuses, in the 1960s. 3 drownings drove Modest Bloke to tip nearly $1 million into film. The Sydney Morning Herald. A feature-length documentary funded by Steve Koudzias and his wife Erin will premiere at the World Conference on Drowning Prevention in Perth. Called Rip Current Survival, the film is the third in a series and aims to prevent deaths caused by rip currents. It includes interviews, rescues and techniques to raise awareness of the dangers of rips, which cause about 80% of global coastal drownings, mostly on unpatrolled beaches. The couple hope to make rip current education compulsory in the Australian school curriculum and have financed safety education materials that are being used in New South Wales public schools. College football playoff, how Final Four should be. Yahoo! Michigan, Washington, Texas and Florida State should be the 4 teams in the college football playoff, CFP, rather than Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State and Oklahoma, according to the Fighting Irish Wire. Michigan, Washington and Texas all went 13-0 and have better resumes than Alabama. Florida State, despite being a Power 5 team that went unbeaten, would likely be left out because of its schedule, but its 2 big wins over LSU and Clemson should be enough to see it into the CFP. CFP picture cloudy on eve of committee selections. Yahoo! The college football playoff teams will be announced on Sunday, but the picture is still unclear after Saturday's championship games. Michigan and Washington are likely to secure 2 of the spots, but the remaining 2 are up for debate. Florida State and Texas are both contenders, with Florida State winning the ACC championship and Texas defeating Oklahoma State to win the Big 12 championship. Alabama is also in the running, despite a loss to Texas earlier in the season. The debate over the final 2 spots will continue until the playoff teams are announced on Sunday. A look at local congressionally directed spending requests from Senator Capito. Yahoo! Earmarks have returned to the federal budget process and Senators Joe Manchin and Shelley Moore Capito have requested federal funding for many projects in West Virginia. Some of the projects include research on carbon footprint management in animal agriculture, research and analyze energy sources and location feasibility for energy resiliency in carbon management, and WVU hospitals establishing a center for neuromodulation and brain therapeutics. Other projects include Morgantown Utility Board increasing the capacity of the Cheat Lake wastewater treatment plant and the Whites Run pump station, and WVU establishing robotic education labs. Some of the projects in Marion County include Greater Paw Paw Sanitary District upgrading pump stations that are at the end of their useful life, and Valley Falls PSD replacing water lines and other system upgrades. Some of the projects in Preston County include Preston PSD 1 improving the water treatment plant and booster pump stations and Preston PSD 4 expanding the water treatment plant capacity. How Kobe White's Let It Fly shooting approach benefits Bulls. Yahoo! There's a simple reason why Kobe White attempted a season-high 13 three-pointers in the Chicago Bulls' victory over the New Orleans Pelicans on Saturday night at the United Center. Well, because I was getting in trouble a lot for not taking them, White said with his typically mischievous grin. There were a couple film sessions. Coach, Billy Donovan, kind of stopped the film and said shoot the ball when I wasn't shooting it. Everybody from my teammates to my staff to the front office was telling me, don't pass up any shots. Shoot it. We don't care if you go 0-4-10 or 0-4-15. 3 dead in blast during mass at Philippine University, police say. Nikkei Asia. An explosion at a Catholic Mass in a university gymnasium in the southern Philippines has left 3 people dead and 9 injured. The blast occurred in Marawi, a city that was besieged by Islamist militants for 5 months in 2017. The authorities are investigating the incident, with one possible motive being revenge by pro-Islamic State militants. The Mindanao State University, where the explosion took place, condemned the act of violence and suspended classes until further notice. The Philippine military said it had killed 11 militants, including members of a pro-Islamic State group, in a recent operation. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six from the 6 Degrees World, here to bring you the latest news from around the globe. Today's headlines cover a range of topics, from peace talks in the Philippines to college football playoffs, and even a film on rip current survival. Let's dive in. First, we have the surprising peace talks between the Philippine government and communist rebels. Some see this as a chance to end decades of conflict, while others view it as a mistake that could give the rebels time to regroup. It's a complex situation with mixed reactions, and only time will tell if these talks will bring lasting peace or aid the enemy. In the world of sports, Michigan shuts out Iowa in a struggle-filled match to secure its spot in the uncertain playoff field. The Wolverines' win means they will be the second team to enter the college football playoff after Washington. But the final 4 teams are still up for debate, with Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Florida State vying for those coveted spots. Let's hope the selection committee can make sense of it all. Moving on to international news, a bomb attack on a Catholic Mass in the Philippines has claimed several lives. The authorities are investigating whether pro-Islamic State militants were behind this act of violence. It's a tragic event that underscores the ongoing tensions in the region and the need for heightened security measures. On a lighter note, we have the story of a modest bloke who tipped nearly $1 million into a film on rip current survival. Steve Koudzias and his wife Erin hope to raise awareness about the dangers of rip currents, which cause the majority of coastal drownings worldwide. Their efforts to make rip current education compulsory in schools are commendable, and I hope their film makes a splash at the World Conference on Drowning Prevention. Lastly, we remember the late Henry Kissinger, a figure who played a significant role in U.S. foreign policy during the Cold War. His support for brutal regimes in South America continues to haunt Latin America, and he has faced calls to be tried for war crimes. It's a reminder that even influential figures can leave a controversial legacy. That's all for today's news update. I hope you enjoyed our journey through these diverse stories. Now it's time for you, my dear viewers, to join the conversation. What are your thoughts on the peace talks in the Philippines? Who do you think should make it to the college football playoffs? And what's your take on the legacy of Henry Kissinger? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the 6 Degrees World. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.